Hey, I'm Alex,
And I'm Brandon.
and welcome to Living Electric.
We're both content creators and electric vehicle enthusiasts.
And through this podcast, we hope to share our experience with owning electric vehicles and help you join the electric life. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Living Electric. We're back with season 2. If you haven't noticed, we've taken a little bit of a hiatus from recording episodes. It's been about 2 months since we posted anything. We just kind of took some time to regroup, kind of reflect on the last season. And really want to have a better plan for season 2. So we're back. We've done some brainstorming. We're excited to be here. And we'll be talking about charging this episode, which we did kind of at the beginning of season 1 with just kind of the basics of charging. But we're going to get maybe a little bit more in depth today, talking about like how to use a charger out in public, how to get your home set up for an EV, like what that installation process is like, and then give you guys a little update on both of us. So biggest thing I think is Brandon's got a new car.
Yeah, I do. I do. A few months ago, we had the opportunity to record a Volkswagen ID4 for an overnight test drive, and we ended up purchasing one.
Yeah, and it's an awesome car. I got the chance to test drive it. They did like a test drive event here in Columbus and brought out like some test cars. And I think you have the same model, like the first edition, right?
We do.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's dusk blue metallic with a black leather interior with a white steering wheel.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So we are about 67% electric. We still have one gas car left, but it's broken down right now. So
I was going to say a majority of your driving is probably on EVs now, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm still driving the Model 3. I just crossed over 20,000 miles pretty recently. So
nice.
Biggest thing I've noticed is like I do not miss going to gas stations and I do not miss oil changes. Like
right.
The big maintenance issues that I had, they're not even issues. They're just things you have to do with the gas car. I don't have to deal with anymore. So that's been great. Unfortunately, I haven't been driving a ton, but the driving I have done has been real enjoyable. So,
well, we're actually closing mileage. I have about 21,000 miles on the Bolt.
Yeah, we got our cars kind of around the same time, so that makes sense.
We did. Yeah. Fortunately, mine's not part of the fire recall, so that's kind of nice and calming.
Yeah.
To know. Yep. But yeah.
Cool. So
still going strong.
And you didn't really have to upgrade anything at your house, right? Do you just kind of switch off between the Bolt and the ID4?
Yep. So Tyler drives about, I would say maybe 10 or 12 miles a day. Like it's not bad at all. Like that's his round trip. So right now he's plugging in once every 7 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how efficient the ID4 is. I think we just hit 300 miles on a state of charge.
Okay.
Like a full state of charge.
That's awesome. Is it the rear wheel drive or all-wheel drive? Rear wheel? Okay.
Yeah, rear wheel.
So a little bit more efficient.
And then the Bolt, obviously my commute's a bit further, so plugging about 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Yeah. But I think, I know that the ID4 can charge at 11 kilowatts on a level 2.
Yeah.
So I think eventually we'll probably upgrade to a more powerful charger, but I think that's when we get a different vehicle.
Yours is at about 7 right now?
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for level 2s. So that kind of segues nicely in our first topic is just getting your home ready for an EV. I think the main thing to figure out is where you're going to charge it. I probably don't have a great perspective on that because I don't live at home or in a home. So I think you've talked about it before, but like what kind of things did you think about when you were thinking about switching to electric? Did you get any kind of like site work done beforehand? Or not site work, I guess like quotes, I guess, on like getting new electrical. Yeah, sorry.
I was like, that's such a technical project term. Yeah, we did. We tried to figure out exactly where we want to house the car.
Yeah.
Will we be charging inside the garage? Where we keep the car in the garage, or is it more cost effective to have the charger on the side of the house?
Yeah.
Where will the charger be? And we had a quote. Our garage is about 25 feet away from the house. It's detached.
Yeah.
And the electricity runs underground. And we had a quote, and they would have to dig up our entire like backyard pretty much to run new cables and everything. So for us, it was just way more cost effective to have a straight line to the side of the house.
Yeah, which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, the Bolt isn't spoiled. It's outside all the time.
It's all right.
weather's at.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest thing to look at if you are thinking about switching to an EV. And the biggest thing you've got to get ready at home is just locate your electrical box and locate where you're charging or where you park your car generally. And if that's a short distance, then great. Like you're getting an outlet run there or a higher amp circuit run out there is going to be easy. If it's a little bit farther away, then you might need to find some other solution.
Exactly. Yeah. And I always say, do your research, get as many quotes as you can, do what's best for you. If you know for a fact that you want your car inside of garage nightly, maybe it needs to be, then do what you can to get it to work. Yeah.
Exactly. And like you were saying, like your husband only drives 10 to 12 miles round trip, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you guys could probably get away with not even charging it on the 240. You could probably use a regular outlet. And I think that goes overlooked sometimes is how much you can actually get away with that. Because though it's not like it doesn't charge that fast, you can add about 5 miles of range per hour, and that's plenty overnight if you don't have a long commute.
Yeah, I know when I worked about 5 miles from the house, that's all I did.
Really?
When I had my Volt. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would just plug into a 110, just use the mobile charger that came with the car.
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think a lot of people could get away with that.
Definitely. And almost have you heard of any EVs not coming with like a mobile connector? I think all of them come with like the mobile connector that works on a regular wall outlet. So
and a lot of them are actually starting to come with portable level 2 chargers. Like they can handle like higher amperages now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, nice. I know the Bolt EUV, the new Bolt, Mach-E. Yeah, there's a lot of cars that are coming with that now.
Do they just have like a little adapter on them that can plug into like a higher amp outlet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's similar to like the Tesla portable charger.
Yeah.
Where it just like pulls out and then connect a new adapter.
Yeah. So I think we've talked about it in one of our previous episodes, but like your home charging setup can be as expensive as you want it to be, honestly. Like it does not need to be anything ridiculous. It doesn't need to be Wi-Fi connected. Like as long as you're getting power delivered to your car, like that's all that really matters. So
I was just gonna say we have the dumb charger.
Yeah.
It's not Wi-Fi connected. It literally works the moment you plug it in.
Yep.
Yeah. Just it's nice.
Yeah, and you can definitely like upgrade that if you're a data nerd and want to see like how much power you're pulling and all that stuff. But that's not really necessary if you just need to charge your car. So
exactly. So, Alex, let me ask you this. Have you looked into any specific chargers that like you've considered?
For home charging?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really. My plan is when we get a house is just to install. I'm probably going to run there'd probably be like 60 or 70 amp circuits to the garage just so we have them there because like we'll eventually be a 2 EV family when Mallory gets her new car. But for now, probably just going to run like NEMA 1450 outlets, which are just like 50 amp outlets for the non-engineers listening. And probably just use the mobile connector for my Tesla because you can buy an adapter for like $35, I think. It's not expensive. And that's definitely the cheaper way to go. Ideally, I'd like to have the Tesla wall connector just because like I love the design of it and it looks really pretty.
Yeah, Tesla did a good job with it.
Definitely. Yeah. So like that looks really nice, but is it necessary? Absolutely not. So
you actually brought up another point that like you don't actually have to have like a charger that like connects on the wall or like kind of sits on the wall. All you really need is that 50 amp outlet.
Yeah.
And like a NEMA 1450 or like whatever standard a charger may come with.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you need. And then when you move, you could take it with you too, you know?
Another thing to look at if you do want to get like a little bit more technical is when you're looking at your electrical panel and you do want to put in a higher amp outlet or a higher amp circuit to charge your car, you're going to have to get one that's that's 2 poles. So not just like if you look in your breaker box, usually there's those little like breakers that are the single connection. The ones for the 240 are going to be like twice as wide. So make sure you actually have space on your breaker panel too. Because if you don't, that's going to require some extra work as well. So that's another thing to look at. Cool. Not an electrician, but that's my my expertise on that.
Alex, actually, this would be a perfect conversation for you. since you don't have home EV charging and you're utilizing public chargers.
Yeah.
Could you tell the listeners how you activate public charging and like how you look for them?
Yeah. So for me, I'm probably in a little different case than most people that are using public chargers because I don't have home charging at all. So when I do look for public charging, I'm generally trying to find it wherever I can. If I'm gonna be parked anywhere for more than an hour, like I'll try to see if there's an EV charger somewhere close. I talked about it last season, but I'll give you kind of a quick update on me. Like I don't have charging at home. So I'm usually taking a trip to the supercharger once a week, which is a fast charger, plug in for about 20 minutes, and I'm good for the week. Obviously, there's lots of other public EV charging options. And most public chargers you'll find, at least that I've used, are the level 2 chargers. So usually I'll use an app like ChargeWay or PlugShare. There's a lot of them. If you just search like EV charging on the App Store, I'm sure there's like 5 or 10 different ones where you can see just the public database of EV chargers. So I'll look up wherever I'm going to be parked, and then I'll look on that app and just see if there's any charging around me. Usually my cutoff is about a half mile. If it's more than a half mile away, I don't even worry about it because I don't want to walk that far to get to wherever I'm going.
You're going to get your steps in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'll see if there's any charging around where I'm going to be parked. If there is, then I'll look up to see if it's free or not, which is kind of good to know ahead of time. Free chargers, generally, you can just plug in, you're good to go. You don't really need to. Sometimes you need to activate them, but sometimes you can just plug in and you're good. Others, it gets a little bit more complicated because almost every charger has a different way of, or at least every brand of charger has a different way of turning it on and actually getting the charge started, which I know is a pain point for a lot of EV drivers. I'm sure you can attest even more because you're not using superchargers when you road trip.
Yep.
So, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, for L2s, first thing I do is just identify what kind of charger it is, what brand it is, and generally there's a app associated with that brand of chargers. So for ChargePoint has an app. You can look up whatever charger you're at. I think they actually have NFC built into most of them now, so you can just tap your phone on it, and if you have the ChargePoint app on there, it'll get the charge started in like 5 seconds. So
I used my Apple Watch yesterday actually.
Really?
To start a charger.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it worked instantly.
That's awesome. Yeah, so identify what brand of charger it is, try to find the app it is. Usually you have to set up an account, which is kind of a pain, but after you do it once, that takes like 5 minutes, and then after that, it's pretty easy to get the charge started. So I know ChargePoint's probably what I use most often. You just tap it, and it starts to charge almost instantly. Some of them are free, and it won't charge your account. Others, I've just got my credit card hooked up to it, so it'll charge my credit card when I'm done charging. So that's what I do for public level 2s. DC fast charging, I'm pretty much using superchargers, which is so easy. You just plug in, you're good to go. But what's DC fast charging like for a non-Tesla driver?
Well, fortunately, more EVs are coming out with the plug-and charge technology, so it's similar to that.
Which the ID4 has, right?
It doesn't.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought it did.
I thought it did too. After when we purchased it, then we were looking through like the forums, and it turns out it doesn't.
Okay.
It does have 3 years of free charging at Electrify America stations, so that's
big.
Nice.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. But I know cars like the Mustang Mach-E has like the plug and charge, especially with like charging stations that utilize your credit card through their accounts.
Can you give kind of a brief rundown of what that means, plug and charge?
Yeah. So pretty much what plug and charge technology is, it's a type of standard that some newer charging stations are utilizing. So when you plug in your vehicle, it immediately does a data connection between the car and the charger, and then it pretty much initializes the charge. It should immediately.
Yeah.
And then it should start charging the vehicle as well as charging your credit card.
Yeah.
Or whatever funds you're using.
It identifies the vehicle, right?
Correct.
And then you have some credit card hook up to your vehicle somehow. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but
yeah. It's I think it's through. Actually, I'm not even going to speak on that because I don't know.
I know that's
just gonna be a wild guess.
That's a very new thing, but I'm hoping more chargers roll that out because it makes charging so much easier. Like it would make it easier than gas. Like you wouldn't even have to swipe your card or anything. Like it just identifies your car and starts charging. So
Oh, yeah.
I know that's new, and most new chargers are trying to install that. So
yeah, it's almost like a handshake.
Yeah.
Think of it that way. Yeah, and I know a lot of new cars are coming with that. But the majority of the time, it's similar to, like green number twos or level 2 chargers, is utilizing mobile apps and starting a charger through there. Or a lot of the non-Tesla chargers have screens on them, and you can start a charge through using the screen prompts and things like that. Yeah. Yeah, but most of the time, I try to just use my phone because it seems to work better.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
way. Yeah.
So do you use Electrify America is probably what you use most often for fast charging?
I would say so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we haven't used public chargers as much as I thought we would, driving electric. But I would say about 95% of the time I've used those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they work well.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing people miss too. Like, obviously, public charging can get very confusing at times, but 95+% of the time, if you own a home and are capable of charging your car at home, that's where you're going to do it.
Exactly.
So I treat the public chargers as kind of a bonus, and it's something I like checking out just as an EV enthusiast. I want to see how they work and like how it works with my car. So that's just kind of a fun like treasure hunt for me, I guess, is finding chargers. So
we do that too. We do that too. We actually spent all day yesterday looking at chargers and posting them to ChargeWay, writing reviews, taking photos.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun, nerdy way to spend a Sunday.
You're so right. Yeah. Well, I think the big thing is too, I know like our local Drive Electric Columbus chapter, one of the big initiatives we have is support local chargers, where like they encourage you to like take a picture of you charging at a charger and share it. Because some companies, like, they see the chargers empty all the time, and then they're like, well, why do we spend all this money on them, and end up getting rid of them because they're like charging them in software fees and stuff like that to keep them up and running. So definitely, like, I think building out that infrastructure is important, and some chargers might not be very full right now, but I have a feeling they're going to be very full in the coming years.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that with how some Tesla superchargers are full, especially during like holiday time, like traveling and stuff like that. Yeah, I have a feeling in 2-3 years we're going to see that at Electrify America stations. And
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think another thing I want to touch on too is, even if you do own a home, I think some people might not even have a place where they can charge their car, even if they have like street parking or something like that, or you're in a condo where you don't really have a driveway. I know we're kind of blessed in Ohio here. Most people have have yards and driveways and like a lot of space, and some like more densely packed cities and some areas of the country don't have that luxury. So being able to like identify public chargers and finding your public charger that's close to you is definitely helpful. Even if like your power's out at home, knowing like where you could go get a charge. Yeah. So
exactly.
So knowing how to use those is definitely helpful.
One thing I do want to say, that if you are interested in maybe either sponsoring a charger or like looking to provide more information to like a city council or whoever might be the stakeholder in a electric vehicle charging project, do the research and then provide that information. The one thing I will say, that the more data and the more information you have to present, the stronger the likelihood that it will actually happen to have a charger installed. There's also programs called Adopt a Charger that could potentially help you sponsor or at least find sponsors for charging stations. I believe they're based out of California, but I know they work a lot with like Kentucky and Indiana, and I think they're starting to get in here in Ohio too. So definitely get involved.
Yeah, and there's usually a lot of government incentives for installing chargers too. So definitely an advantage there.
Lots of grants.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so before we wrap up here, we'll give you kind of a brief update on our YouTube channels as well. If you don't follow us over there, I'd highly encourage you to. We try to provide as educational content as possible, just about our lives as EV drivers. And you probably see some more than you would just listening to the podcast here. So kind of more in the driver's seat, if you will, of EV ownership.
Oh, you took the dad joke from me.
Sorry, I stole this episode.
I'll get the next one.
So, yeah, my channel has been doing really well. I think I'm up over 13,000 subscribers now. A lot of that has been through YouTube Shorts. So if you've seen any of those or heard my voice, that's been a big help. So I appreciate everybody that's watching there. The short content is like so interesting because it doesn't take as long to make, but like has much more viral potential. So it's been an interesting ride.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't have 13,000 yet, but I will do a quick year-to-year overview. Okay. Last year at this time, at the end of July, I was just hitting 500 subscribers, and I'm about to hit 2,000.
That's awesome.
So I think almost 1,500 subscriber increase is not bad.
No, definitely.
So pretty happy with that.
Yeah. And even though like EVs are new and exciting, like it's still a very like niche topic for a lot of people, so trying to grow an EV channel is definitely tough. So kudos to you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. So that's going to be it for the first episode of season 2, which we're excited to be back and producing more content for you, everybody. Just to give everybody a lowdown of our plan, we have a 10-episode season planned, and we will be publishing new episodes weekly every Monday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern time. I know that's early, but
hey, some people are commuting around then, so.
Exactly. Yep, it's a good commuting podcast. But if there's anything that you would like to hear in this season, definitely reach out to us on our social accounts. We can be found at Twitter at livingelectric_, Instagram Living Electric Podcast, and Facebook at Living Electric Podcast. Also, definitely check out our YouTube channel. We'll be posting our episodes there. Make sure to subscribe, and we appreciate everyone's support.
Yep, we'll see you in the next episode.